Outside of Bitcoin, everything else is complete and utter garbage and wasteless. What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the Buy the Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who supports what we've got going on. Special shout out to the students from Buy the Hood University, as well as the youth from the Buy the Hood Ownership Camp, as well as everyone from our membership group. That's right, MDC Strategy, right? We have a full-fledged membership group where we talk about everything involving economics and finance, and that group is growing. I got my partner in crime, Corey, with me. Corey, what is up, good brother?
Man, what's really good, man? Glad to be here, glad to be alive, man. We get to chop it up with the folks, man. Like, it's a special time, it's a special age when we get the chance to chop it up with our folks, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we have our new format of our podcast, right? Shorter podcast, but we still here every week. Not guest centric, although we will have guests for those who are just catching up on the kind of the shift that we made. Today's topic, I mean, if you probably saw about a flyer, whether you're listening to the audio or if you're watching on YouTube. And by the way, if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do go subscribe. That's kind of our home right now, YouTube, and wherever you listen to the podcast app or on all podcast platforms. But with that being said, though, today's topic, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency a little bit. We're going to talk about Bitcoin specifically. So a lot of the questions I've been getting are like, Jimmy, you used to go by Sweat, and now all you talk about is Bitcoin. And I was having a conversation, and I said, well, let me bring this to the podcast and talk to Corey about this, because at this point, Corey, a transition I've made over the last couple of years, I am 100% in Bitcoin only. I don't buy any other crypto. I'm what the folks like to call a Bitcoin Maxi at this point. Didn't start out as a Bitcoin Maxi, being completely transparent and honest, but the more I study, the more I learn, because I'm constantly reading and studying and trying to understand and learn the space, the more it pushes me to kind of this Bitcoin Maxi lifestyle, man. So let's have a conversation about that, man. Like, what are your feelings on crypto in general, like in terms of where the market is, where it's going, and Bitcoin specifically? What do you think, bro?
I think, all right, let's start with the market. I think the crypto market is going to go, it's going to go crazy, and it's going to go crazy for two reasons. One, the world economics of how money is working and how currency is working is going to make crypto, and well, not even crypto, but the blockchain more important. And so with the blockchain being more important, that makes crypto go crazy. And then Bitcoin specifically, because that's the only crypto that I know is going to be here, right? So all the rest of them have a chance to get out of here. Now, people will say that Bitcoin can be manipulated because so much is owned by big corporations and companies, and I will say this: they can manipulate it, but they can't get rid of it. The reason why they want it is because they can't get rid of it. And so, of course, when there's something that is valuable as crypto, and especially as valuable as Bitcoin, that the big boys going to want in. Like at some point when they figured out that like Bitcoin Maxis wasn't giving up control, you know what I mean? Like they was like, can't beat them, try to beat them down. You know what I mean? Like, so they just grabbed the majority stake. So I don't have a problem with them having the majority stake because they don't control the system.
Well, it's rules without rulers, right? So it doesn't matter whether you have a small percent. And see, this is the confusion I see sometimes when I see people talking about crypto. They talk about how many folks own, a large percentage, but it doesn't matter because it's rules without rulers, right? So they can't control the protocol, right? It doesn't matter how much you have. You can't control the protocol. I could buy every single piece of Bitcoin there is, say with the exception of actually all of it, and it still doesn't matter. I still can't control the protocol. That's what makes it powerful as being the truly only decentralized crypto there is. But and I'll start, my piece off by saying this, right? Outside of Bitcoin, everything else is complete and utter garbage and wasteless. I'm just gonna say that, right? Now, let me add a little context to that, right? So how I got into cryptocurrency, first of all, outside of Corey, bullying me into the space, but I was already a precious metals investor. And one of the reasons that I love precious metals and loved precious metals was because of the idea of being decentralized and no one having control over my revenue, right? So as a real estate guy from profession, and someone who also invests in the stock market, what I understand is those things can be controlled. I've seen people, we've seen it this over the last couple of years. Them just literally stop the market, right? So that shows you control. I've seen people have their properties, possessed via eminent domain,
Seized by the government.
all kinds of things, right? So I understand that you don't have complete control. Does that mean I don't invest in those asset classes? That's not
No.
what that means, because I need to put my money to work. But what I saw when I started to really dig deep into Bitcoin was like, hold on, rules without rulers, this stuff can't be controlled, and it's more portable, right? I can travel the world with as much of the currency as possible, and I can't be. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I like to buy, and by the way, if you haven't taken our class on precious metals, looking at the notes of this particular podcast, and you'll see By the Hood University, where you can take a look at our precious metals course, and it's also within our group. But anyway, the thing about precious metals, and I like to buy Eagles. I like to buy, we call them dips. That's our code for them. We like to buy American Eagles in the 1 ounce format, but there's only so many I can carry on me, right? And then you go to the airport, you gotta do this, that, and the third.
You gotta declare what you got and all that.
I could literally, if I wanted to, memorize my seed phrase and be walking around the world with like however much money you want to say right in my head, right? So it's nothing that you can really do to stop that. So that to me is one of the powers of cryptocurrency, right? But Core, where are you at in terms of what kind of investments are you making personally? Like, and by the way, not investment advice, but what do you?
This is not investment advice at all.
Go ahead.
So
What kind of thing?
degenerate? I'm a crypto degenerate. So I play around in the dark spaces of crypto. And so I'm into the crypto machines and the 1% a day and 2% a day Jones. Like I get involved in all that. What I have is 90% Bitcoin, and then I'm playing with the other 10% of my crypto. I'm playing reindeer games. You know what I mean? So like I'm in the dark depths, and I'm a crypto degenerate. I can't lie. So I got I got 4 different cryptos. So I got USDT, I got Tron, I got Wax, and I got Flow. Like I got all the stuff. Like so, I got the Flow token because I got the NBA Top Shot still. I got the
So what you hear Corey saying basically is Corey is still a shit coiner, right? So
yeah. No, but I'm only like I can't, because I like the maybe just the adrenaline rush of playing around and with stuff.
you might as well just bet on sports, dog.
I mean, I do. You know I do this. Like you, I'm a full out degenerate. So like,
listen,
this is why I don't give investment advice, because I am a full out degenerate.
Anybody listening to this, please do not be like Corey. This is not what we.
I am a full.
This is not what we preach. This is not what we teach.
not at all. But my thing is this: whenever you hear me talk about money, or when you talk about finance and stuff, you never hear me talk about that kind of stuff, because you have to study, you have to be vigilant, you have to know what you're doing. Like I don't drag people into the murky waters that I go into, but because I study the space, because I do all of these things, I mean, it's fun for me. You know what I mean? Like it's literally like a little baby sport to go, make money in the market where.
Yeah, no, I ain't trying to have fun. I'm trying to get rich, right? So here's the thing, right? With that being said, that's why I said sports betting, right? Because if I do when it comes to I'm trying to get rich. So here's the thing, right? And I do want to say this because a lot of times when you talk to people about investing and all this stuff, they get into all these exotic things, and I believe in like literally like a what I call a core 4, right? Real estate, whether that's single family or multifamily, whatever your thing is, S&P 500. I don't believe 99.9% of people should own individual stock. Just go buy the S&P 500. Again, not investment advice. I don't think that you should buy any other cryptocurrency with the exception of Bitcoin, right? Not investment advice. So there you go. Real
And
estate,
insurance.
right? Real estate. No, insurance is different. Insurance has nothing to do with that because
That's an asset class, though.
no, hold on though. Real estate, right? So real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and crypto. And the thing about precious metals, I would put them in crypto kind of in the same bucket.
Yep.
Insurance. Here's it, and I don't want to get into this whole thing because I'm about to have a bunch of insurance agents attack me. Insurance is not an investment, right? Insurance is the umbrella that goes over all those other things.
It does.
You can use insurance accounts for specific reasons, but this idea that people come online with all the time talking about the wealthy do this with insurance, it's actually not true. Listen, these are people that sell insurance. Most of the time when you see people tell you all these things about insurance, they're insurance salespeople, right? And how do I know that? Because I was once one. And that's what you were taught to say. But then when you actually study what wealthy people do, they don't do that. That's not even true. But I don't want to go off on a tangent. But insurance is necessary specifically within our community because it's protection.
Protect those assets.
It's protection.
That's why I called it its own.
Well, not to protect those assets, to protect your family. Because if you have the assets and they have value, right, it doesn't matter whether you have insurance.
You're saying the same thing. You're
no,
saying
insurance. When you actually look at insurance, is really made to protect income. So if I'm bringing an X amount of income into my family, insurance, because even when you, as an insurance agent, what you're taught
they
to
tell
do,
you you're supposed to at least have X amount more.
Yeah, use a multiple of someone's income because that's what it's meant for, right? But assets are assets that are going to have value, right? Stay away from debt, buy those 4 things, and live your life, and you'll be. People make this stuff way too complicated.
They do, but
getting back to the actual topic though, because we went way off on a tangent.
because I like to have fun, and Jim likes to stop me from having fun.
No, it's not about stopping you from having fun. It's just you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful because Corey's a degenerate gambler who's admitted degenerate gambler. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm a data dude, so I look at data, and the data shows me that degenerate gamblers don't necessarily become wealthy, right? If you plot out people that become wealthy, most of the time they're not degenerate gamblers, right? They're people that are disciplined and stick to the script and take their time, right? What I find funny is about so we have a lot of people that speculate in the market, and there are trends and things you can follow, but for the most part, 99.9% of people have no idea.
They should just be buying Vu.
I like when people talk about, well, I know that inflation will be here and this will be here, and they try to tell you what it's going to be. And the funny thing about it is the people who actually control it have no idea where it's going to be. So when you're sitting in your nana's basement and you tell me where it's going to be, I'm like, Jay Powell has no idea where it's going to be.
Jay Powell got full control. He got full control of the money supply. He can't tell you what inflation is right now.
All right. Getting back to the point about Bitcoin, though. I'm Bitcoin only, and the reason being is because of true decentralization. It's the only true one that has value. It's the one that's the most revolutionary in the space, and with the Lightning Network, that kind of changes everything, right? First mover's advantage. It has the brand name. Most people don't even know half of the other coins. So I think that there's so many reasons that Bitcoin will have value. I know I get attacked a lot of times, especially from folks who love Ethereum. But once Ethereum moved to proof of stake from proof of work, I was done.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. So with that being said, though, I want to make sure that we put it out there for folks that may have questions about this to kind of hit us up, let us know. I know people will disagree, and that's okay, right? Because I don't get into arguments online no more. I just say, okay, enjoy life, Yeah,
I mean, at least the thing is, because I study, because I'm around people who are smart, because I have a good circle of people around me. I take calculated chances, right? As you can see, I said 90% of my 90% of my crypto is in Bitcoin. Like, I'm not sitting playing around with 100% of my crypto in these degenerate things. You know what I mean? Like, so while I may be wilding out there, I'm only wilding out with 10% of the whole. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here playing around with. I'm not doing it 90-10 like the other way around. You know what I mean? Playing with 90% of the money, and then 10% of my money is being stashed away. That's goofiness, right? I'm out here, doing the things, that the basic things, right? Like, I buy dividend stocks. I buy, I buy properties that appreciate in value, and how I know they appreciate in value is because I went in my mailbox 3 days ago and got a letter from the the county saying that my property value tripled and they want the tax money. So I buy you know what I mean, like I buy precious metals. Jim got me into the precious metals game. And you know what I mean, like I'm so basically I'm following the game plan. I just, I'm like, I don't know, like Jim might be like Tim Duncan, and I'm wilding out. I'm probably like more like you know what I mean, because like for me, Tim Duncan was the best player of a generation, right? He was better than Shaq, he was better than Kobe, he was better than all of them. That for me, I think he was the best player. So like Tim Duncan to me, like is the standard bearer. You know what I mean? Like, and like what you're doing is the standard. Like that should be the rich standard. And I'm more like you know what I mean, like somebody who's just wild as hell. You know what I mean? Like I'm a winner chip, but it's gonna take me a minute because I'm wild. I'm like Giannis or something. Like I'm just wild.
KG. But listen though,
Yeah.
I'll take that comparison for one reason. One of the greatest things about Tim Duncan is his demeanor, for one, because even when he's done playing basketball, my guy just went and like Kaiser Sose.
Yeah, he just
I'm angry with that because that's what I want to do one day. One day, unless y'all not gonna see me on YouTube, IG, it's gonna be like I'm just gonna
he
be
coached one game. Pop gave him the reins for like one game so he can like live out his dream, and then my man was done.
Yeah, we ain't seen him since. Like, anybody seen Tim Duncan? Please let us know, man. My man, like,
we love you, Tim. Like,
yeah, he's out in the ether somewhere, man. That's why I like Tim Duncan. But they call him big fundamentals, right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing. The thing about building wealth, right? And this is supposed to be about Bitcoin, right? Is that it's really not that difficult, man. Watch your debt, buy assets, let time take its place, and go enjoy life. Because sometimes we get caught in this trap where we are so focused on acquiring. I understand why, specifically for our culture and our community. But one of the things that we like to talk about, right? And we talked about this a lot when it came to the Black Wealth Project. How do you create these systems that you still can have fun in life? Yeah. Right. And I don't mean fun by gambling on shit coins. I'm talking about just in general, doing what you like to do. No shots. Doing what you like to do. I'm just talking about being able to do what you like to do, right? Because most people, how many people you think actually get up in the morning and go do what they like to do during the course of the day?
Very, very few.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad when you think about it, right? Because
our system isn't set up for that many people to do that, though.
But the thing about acquiring wealth, though, right? I was having this conversation the other day, and I was talking about, and I've said this on the show before, but when you talk to someone that has built up a high net worth or whatever, and a lot of times their job doesn't bother them as much as it did before they had the revenue, right? So I was having lunch with Derek Kane. Shout out to Derek Kane from the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I was telling him, I was like, the funny thing is, working a job is different when you got a couple dollars.
Yeah, when you got assets.
I said, because when you don't have assets and you kind of need that job, they can talk to you anywhere where they want to, right? That's the thing. People know when they can, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're stun on you. They're stun on you hard. They'll play reindeer games with your life because they know they can.
Yeah, but when they know you don't need them, it's a whole different energy, right? Energy is everything, man.
It is.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, man, we're at different spaces. Like Corey's still shitcoin a little bit. I'm all Bitcoin, but I wanted to put that on the record too and have this conversation because, I was heavy into ETH, but that was also part of my journey, right? One of the things I learned from being a quote unquote Bitcoin maxi, right? Because Bitcoin is its own culture. So I've been able to connect and meet people within the space and learn. I'm constantly seeking out information. Make sure you go check out Black Bitcoin Billionaires, a lot of education. Naja Roberts is a legend. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Tyler, everybody. So everybody over there. Yeah, but what I'm saying is just also a couple books I want to give, right? We want to make sure we give book recommendations on our pod. The Bitcoin Standard.
That's always the one.
The Fiat Standard, Bitcoin and Black America are a couple. I'll give just those three. Very powerful books. But as you read more about like the blockchain, and the funny thing about it is, it's such a buzzword, although it's not the main buzzword now. The new one is AI. AI is out of control right now. The AI buzzword. But again, you'll start to understand why you get to this space. Because I bring that up because having conversations with people in the space, everybody started in the same place. And that's why, like I tell young folks, we like, shout to GC, who's always on our Friday show. I always tell him, eventually you'll get here, bro. You
Yeah,
will eventually, because the more you study, the more cycles you go through, right? The more happening cycles you go through.
you
Um,
see, you
the
see,
more
you
shit
see the
goes that
same,
completely,
you
you
see
see the
the
same.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah, man. So, just make sure you guys study, right? Please do not buy anything you don't understand. Let's start with that too, right? I don't care what it is. I don't care if we're talking about the stock market. I don't care if we talk about real estate. Make sure you have an understanding and you're putting your best foot forward in terms of trying to learn. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because I
Just
think,
the first thing you should pay for is education. Then you go, you know what I mean? Then you should
yeah,
invest because my thing is if you investing without education, it's like giving your money to somebody that you don't know what they're gonna do with it. They might run off with it, right?
yep,
So like listening to us, Google it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Chat GPT, GPT for it. Do BART it. Do whatever
mm-hmm,
you got to do, right? Because my whole thing is, if the quicker your learning curve happen, the faster you can get into the actual investments. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep.
Like for me, a lot of what Jim do, I can't do. Number one, my life not set up like his. I got 4 kids. He don't got any. And
Yeah, but you know what though? That's not true, bro. You can do because it's just simple. Like literally,
no,
when
no, no, no.
we
I
talk
can't
about
do
the
it the
set it
way
and
you
forget
do
it.
it. I can't do it the way you do it because my emotions not set up the same way as yours.
Emotionally, right? But that ain't got to do with time because mine takes less time than anything,
I
right?
mean, yeah, because you just buying the basics. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm buying the basics. I'm doing. Listen, Jim, you got me into buying
no,
the
no,
basics.
but hear me out though. The reason I say that is because you probably spend more time in the market than me. I know you spend more time in the market than me. I know because I'm in the Discord with you, so I know that you be in the market way more than I do, right? And the reason I say that is because if you wanted to, you could do the very thing, DCA, and just mind your business, because that's
I
kind of
could.
like that's my wave right now, man. I'm learning to not be in front of a screen and be in the market as much and
I just
just
told you I'm a degenerate though. Like
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm learning like so again during the pandemic, I think a lot of us picked up those habits because like you couldn't, I mean, there wasn't so much you could do. Everything outside was closed and all that. Like,
I've been a degenerate since I was like 6, bro.
no, but what I'm saying is I'm learning now, not learning. I'm refocusing on doing other things and just not being in front of a screen so much. Set it and forget it and mind my business
I'm
and go
90% there, bro. I'm
and
90% there.
and go laugh at TikTok memes. With that being said, though, folks, this has been another episode of our podcast. Like I said, we just come on here and ramble about the things we want to talk about, what's going on in our life in the world. Don't forget, though, every Friday we are live, and on Friday we do a giveaway. Literally, every Friday we give away.
Guess what we give away
Bitcoin.
every
And
Friday.
we give away Bitcoin every Friday, and we've been doing so for a couple of years at this point. So if you join our Friday show, you already know. If you're watching from our Friday show, you already know that what we're saying is true, and we give it out that night. It's not like folks win and we gotta wait. They get paid that evening. So make sure you check out our Friday show. Is right here on YouTube as well as our Facebook page. Both are at By the Hood. We're at By the Hood on all social platforms. I'm personally at JW the Blueprint, and Corey is at Above Average Savage. So, but if you follow my personal page, I'm letting you know that you might see some explicit material. Nothing crazy, but I'm just talking about like maybe some cuss words, some ratchet food pics. You know what I mean? Some crazy memes. All the ratchet side of the internet. But that's on my personal page, By the Hood. We keep it edutainment, man. As KRS One says, edutainment, man.
Yeah,
Financial memes and bars. So that's
yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Don't go follow my personal pages, man. I'm 100% ratchet on my personal page. Don't go follow my personal page.
All right, y'all. So with that being said, man, listen, we love y'all. We appreciate the support as always. Make sure you share this, and give us some feedback. You know what I'm saying? As we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see you guys in our next episode. Peace.